Okay, let's talk about a war that's happening right now. But forget about land or oil. This war is being fought over the most complex battlefield you can possibly imagine, your brain. You've got two titans in the ring. On one side, Elon Musk, right? The guy who's been in the space for a while. And on the other, Sam Altman. Yeah, the mastermind behind ChatGPT. And what are they fighting for? Well, it's pretty much the final frontier of technology, a direct link into our minds. And look, this isn't some far-off sci-fi movie plot. This is happening as we speak, in boardrooms and labs all over Silicon Valley. Seriously, the outcome here could completely change what it even means to be human. And that's exactly why we need to get a handle on what's at stake for all of us. So, the first shot has been fired. Sam Altman, he's launching a new company called Merge Labs, and it is a direct challenge to Elon Musk's brain-computer interface empire, Neuralink. This isn't just about business, It's a fundamental battle of ideas about how we're going to connect our brains to machines. Okay, to really get what's going on here, you've got to look at the two big players and the insane amounts of cash that are fueling their completely different visions for our future. I mean, just look at this. The scale is kind of nuts. Neuralink is already a $9 billion Goliath. Merge Labs? They're not even at $1 billion yet. So yeah, Musk has a huge head start, but as we all know in the tech world, money doesn't always guarantee you're going to win. But Altman is putting down a serious bet. We're talking $250 million. He's not trying to outspend Musk. No, his play is to outsmart him with what he thinks is a better and frankly safer idea. One that doesn't involve, drilling into your skull. And this right here is the heart of the whole conflict. It's a deep, fundamental disagreement on how you crack the code of the brain. Do you use a scalpel or do you use an algorithm? Okay, here's a good way to think about it. Musk's Neuralink, that's like physically tapping into a fiber optic cable. You get a perfect, crystal clear signal, right? But you gotta break the line to do it. Now, Altman's Merge Labs is trying to do something different. They're building this ridiculously sophisticated antenna that can pick up and decode the Wi-Fi signals coming off that cable, but without ever touching it. So way lower risk, but man, the problem of decoding that signal is just immense. And let's be clear, the risks with Musk's direct tap approach are very real. We're talking about reports of nearly 300 animal deaths during early tests, the FDA citing them for quality control problems, and then in their very first human patient, some of the implanted threads apparently retracted. They pulled back out of the brain tissue. When you're dealing with the human brain, the stakes are just astronomical. There's absolutely zero room for error. And here's something that might surprise you. For all the headlines that Neuralink gets about surgical implants, the BCI market right now is overwhelmingly non-invasive, like almost 86% of it. So, see, Altman isn't trying to invent some brand new category. He's making a bet that he can perfect the one that's already winning. But this whole thing, it goes so much deeper than just two companies competing. It's personal, it's philosophical, and it really forces us to ask some pretty uncomfortable questions about the kind of future we actually want to live in. So, just how personal is it? Well, get this. These two guys started out as partners. They co-founded OpenAI with this big shared vision. But that whole alliance just crumbled. It turned into this really bitter public feud, starting with disagreements over AI safety and escalating all the way to direct competition and, yeah, personal attacks. And it doesn't get a whole lot more personal than that, does it? When you have two of the most powerful people on the planet just publicly throwing insults at each other, you know this has gone way beyond business. This is a battle of egos, and the outcome is going to shape all of our futures. And this is where we get into the ethical minefield. Because, yeah, both companies talk a lot about treating really serious conditions like paralysis, which is amazing. But let's be real, their long-term vision is about human enhancement, upgrading your memory, your intelligence, you name it. So what happens to society when some people can afford to buy a brain upgrade and others can't? That's a huge question. And you better believe there's a massive financial reason to figure all this out. The market is expected to nearly quadruple in just the next decade. We're talking over 11 times billion dollars. So this isn't some quiet scientific experiment. No, it's a gold rush, and everybody is scrambling to stake their claim. Okay, let's bring this back to you. What does this practically mean? Well, this kind of tech could potentially access not just the thoughts you want to type out, but the thoughts you suppress, your deepest emotions, your unconscious biases, your hidden memories. I mean, can you imagine any data that's more private than that? And the huge unanswered question is, who owns that data and who protects it? So, where is this all headed? With all the tech, the money, and the ego swirling around, let's break down 3 possible ways this could all play out. 3 potential futures. Okay, scenario 1. Musk's surgical approach wins out. It becomes the gold standard, and maybe that creates a whole new kind of societal split between the enhanced and the unenhanced. Or, scenario 2, Altman's AI-powered, non-invasive approach has a huge breakthrough. Suddenly, this tech becomes as common as a smartphone. Or there's a third option, which might be the most likely, a fragmented market. Maybe both approaches succeed, but for different things. High-risk surgery for really severe medical conditions, and less invasive tech for the everyday consumer market. But here's a final thought that really needs to sink in. Think about it. We all got to choose whether to get a smartphone. We chose whether to join Facebook or Twitter. But one of the sources on this makes a really powerful point. This technology is different. The societal changes that come from it, how we define being smart, being healthy, being human, those changes are going to affect every single one of us, whether you get an implant or not. You can't just opt out. The bottom line is, the mind wars are here. The race has already started, and the decisions being made right now in these labs are going to define the future of human consciousness. So the question isn't if this is coming anymore. The real question is, what's our role going to be when it gets here? Are you ready?